Hey, I'm back, and today I want to talk about this plugin, Reelbus version 4. So, this is a really cool plugin from Toneboosters. It's the fourth version. I've been using the third version for a while, but they came out with this, and it was only like a $20 upgrade. So, if you have the version 3 or one of the earlier versions, upgrade. It's only like $20. You can spare that. But I think even new, it's only about $30. So it's very cheap. But it's basically a tape simulation plugin. It sounds really great, and they added lots of new features in this version, so I thought I would go over it. So let me turn it off here. And this is a song I maybe did before. It's up on my site. It's called Synth Master, but let's just listen to it. So it's kind of like some synth funk. But if I turn this on, you'll hear a little bit of saturation and other things. It's just a small difference. I'll turn it on and off. So that's just the default, but you can hear it's adding a little bit of compression and saturation as well as some other things. And so if we go through the different like modes here, I guess presets I should say, I'll let you hear, how it sounds. Some of these are really subtle, some of them are not so subtle, and you really hear the difference. So I'll just play a few of them. So I thought I'd just stop there instead of going through all these. But this is one of the less subtle ones, called Canadian Boards. I'm guessing it's based on Boards of Canada. But you see it has lots of wow and flutter, so you hear that like pitch shifting. And on a full mix, I don't know if I'd want to use this, but definitely on single instruments, this is, really useful. If I open it up here, you can see it's not using that much CPU. It's actually fairly light on CPU use here. So that's one of the other things that I really like about it. I don't even know how to do this. Anyways, so it can be used in lots of different ways. There's lots of different modes. I'll actually put this on something else. So instead of that, let's try it on a pad here. So let's try it with it off first so you can just hear the pad sound. Now with it on. So you can hear what it's doing with the pitch, and this is kind of interesting if you want that kind of like old analog sound, or you want something that sounds like a broken cassette. So they actually have those compact cassette or broken cassette, tape trouble, etc. And it even has this with like Ferox version 3. So before Toneboosters had Reelbus, which was more of like a professional tape emulation, then Ferox, which is more like an effect. They would just kind of dirty things up. But now they've combined into both. They're all in Reelbus, I should say. So let me quickly go over some of the different features they added here. So before they had like the big drive knob in the middle, but now they have it on the side where you can mess with the threshold here. And the more you pull it down, the faster it will distort. On top of that, you can control the saturation here, and also for the saturation you have a few different modes. So you have Ferox, version 2, version 3, and then 4 new versions for version 4. I think these are all new. Also hysteresis, which I'm not sure what it does. I'm guessing that's how much it stays like compressed or saturated after the initial hit is there. I'm guessing just by the definition of hysteresis, that's what it's doing, but I'm not exactly sure. Compression, spectrum, I believe it's what the like kind of EQ of the tape sounds like, how much of that is affecting it. You have wow and flutter. You have wear, which I'll let you hear. That really does something. So you can hear it kind of has that effect on the amplitude of the volume, and also it seems to cut off some high end, but I'm not exactly sure. You have hiss here if you really want hissy tape. Often don't like that, but sometimes it's good. Asperity, I think this is some different type of noise. Let's listen to that. Very subtle. I can barely even hear that. Maybe it's not even noise. What am I talking about? I'm not sure. Check that out for yourself, because I'm not even 100% sure what that does. But let's move on. This, I think, is one of the really cool things they added, and this is actually the drive. And what this does is it allows you to set the EQ before it goes into the saturator. So if you move up the high end, it will saturate the high end. If you move up the low end, it'll saturate the low end. If you like pull down the high end, it will have less saturation on the high end, which is really good sometimes, because oftentimes if I'm like saturating a drum loop, I want the bass drum and the snare, really saturated, but I don't want my cymbals all crunched up like that, because I don't think it sounds good. So with this, you can kind of regulate how much is happening there. Let me see if I don't know if this will work so well on the pad, but let's find out. So you can hear a little bit. The pad's probably not the best source for that. On top of that, we have a flanger. I'll let you listen to this. Tape flange. And by clicking here, you can change it from musical values to actual times. You have depth, phase, high pass filters, low pass filter, etc. Let me try this on something else. Let's see here. Maybe clavichord. This would be better. And this also has a delay, which I really love. I'm glad they added this. So let's try tape echo. Let me turn it off so you can hear what it sounds like by itself first. Okay, now let's hear what it sounds like with the echo on. And also, as you heard there, as you move through the different times, it does all those crazy tape effects. I actually like how this has like quintuplets in there also. It's kind of rare. So you can choose those, and you can also use the delay like this in milliseconds. It has high pass and low pass, which I really like. Another cool thing they have here is the different stereo modes. So this is keep, so if it's panned left, it'll stay left. If it's panned right, it'll stay right. The instrument, that is, the input signal. But then it also, you can pan it to the left, force it to be panned left, force it to be panned right, which I think that's self-explanatory, like this. Let's do the fourth notes like this. So that's interesting. Here's the feedback. Here, move it down or up like this. And the other two modes here are Rot L. I'm guessing this is rotation. And what this does is it's almost like a auto panner. So it's not like a ping pong where it goes from left, right. It goes from like left, center, right, all around. So I'll let you hear it. It's actually really interesting. I like this mode. And the other one is just starting from the right and going left, as opposed to rotation L starts from left and goes right. So I really like both those modes. And you have the same thing down here. It's just, you know, a different side. So you can use a stereo delay, which I really like. I hate it when they only give you one delay. Like, give me two. I need a stereo delay. So I think they did a really good job with that. And the only other feature here is they have a tape stop effect. So if I do this and I push it, it'll just sound like a tape stop. So that's a cool little effect. You can't use it all the time, but of course you can use it sometime. This is one of those things that, because it's so CPU friendly, you can use it on lots of tracks. I don't know if I'd want to use it on every single track, but I'd definitely use it on like my drum bus, maybe guitar buses, and maybe like a synth bus or something like that. It sounds really good. Doesn't take up too much CPU. There's lots of different modes, and it's really, really adjustable, especially using this drive mode. So you can make it, you know, like bass saturation, or you can stop it from saturating your high end too much. I think they did a really good job with this. They looked like they wanted to get away from the like analog look and get a more like flat modern look, but I think it looks nice. And also you can change it. So here it's on persimmon, but you can change it to like lemon or a bunch of different flavors. So whatever flavor you like, I'm sure they have here. Honey lust, let's see here. Lime bitters, I like that. My favorite color is green, so I'll stick with this one. But definitely check it out. It doesn't cost a lot, and it sounds really good. What else can you ask for in a plugin? So if you like this, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below, and until next time, see you.